All right, so I'm going to briefly show you here how to make a line graph of your data. So again, I'm just in the natural selection simulation data table. I've filled in some random numbers here. These numbers should come from your data sheet that you've recorded over time. So creating a line graph, super easy. I start and what I do is I highlight all of my data right here. And so I've highlighted everything I want to put in. And then up on the top here, you'll notice that there is a little icon. It even looks like a bar graph and it says insert chart. So I click on that. And Google's already done some nice work for me here. So it created a line graph already. Now, what if yours decides it wants to be a bar graph instead? Well, we don't want a bar graph. We want a line graph. So if I ever want to modify or need to, the chart type, you'll notice on this data tab right here, so my chart editor automatically opened up. The first thing I can do is change the type of graph. So line graph, if I scroll down just a little bit, is the first option I have. I don't want the smooth one. I want to see kind of all those dips. So I'm going to click on that one. Beautiful. So there's how I get my line graph. Now I double check. So I've got a nice checklist right here to see what I need to make this perfect. So the first thing I need is a descriptive title, change in my y-axis over my x-axis. I need my x-axis labeled with units, my y-axis, and a key. Well, notice I've already got my key. So population, bird 1, 2, and 3 already filled in. So key done, but I need some titles. So in order to get those, what I'm gonna have to do is go over here to my chart editor and go to this customize tab. So in the Customize tab, you'll notice you get a few options that open up, but the first one is Chart and Axis Titles. This is the one I'm interested in. So when I open this up, you'll notice that you have a drop-down option right here. It gives me the option to change the chart title, the horizontal or x-axis title, or the vertical y-axis title. I am going to start with my horizontal axis title, so my x-axis. So I noticed that on the bottom right here, 100,000, 200,000, 3, 4, 500,000, that was my time. So that was my measurement of time. And what was I measuring time in? I was measuring time in years. So it's 100,000, 500,000. So that's my unit. Beautiful. So there's X. Now I want my Y. So I just come back over here, vertical axis. So what was I counting? 250, 500. That's my bird population. So I put that in there. Now, because it is a count, it doesn't need units. I literally counted. So this is 300 birds. I don't need to write singles. So now the last thing I need is my title. So it defaults to bird 1, 2, and 3. That is not a good title. Nice try, Google. So I come over here and I click chart title and I look at what I've got. So generic titling should be change in X over Y. Oh, sorry, change in Y over X. So now I just look at what I've already filled in. So change in, I gave my Y-axis the title bird population. So bird population over, and what was my Y-axis? Time. Now I'm looking at my graph. Let's do one more check. So descriptive title, yep. X-axis, yep. Y-axis, yep. Key. Beautiful. So now I need to figure out, once I have this nice graph, it needs to go in my conclusion. So your conclusion, I'm going to use B period for an example here. In Google Classroom, you have in-class natural selection simulation lab, and you have this natural selection online simulation graph and conclusion. And see, I made it so each of you gets your own copy. So you click on it, it opens up, it has your name in it, it's fancy. So when I click on that, this will be yours, obviously. Oops, I already did this before. Let me delete this one. I'll show you how to put a new one in. So what you'll notice is number one is just asking you to put your graph in. So in order to copy and paste a graph, I go back to my Google Sheet, and when I click on it, do we see how we get these nice little 3 buttons up here? So what I'm going to do is click on those 3 buttons, and we notice third up from the bottom is copy chart. So I copy it, I come back to my conclusion, I put my cursor here, and I can do 2 things. I can either right-click on my mouse pad and paste, or if I want to use my shortcuts, I can do Control V. You'll notice I just did Control V to paste, and it'll say, do you want a link to spreadsheet? So this means if I make any changes in in my Google Sheet, it'll automatically update, or do I want to paste unlinked? Just in case you make any mistakes on this, we go back, we edit it, and I'm like, hey, you forgot a title. Do yourself a favor. Now you don't have to copy and paste it again, so you just link it to the spreadsheet. So I hit paste, and there we go. There is my change in bird population over time. Now that I have my graph, 2 and 3 are going to ask me to analyze that graph, tell me what they see for data. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions, and then once I am done, I'm going to hit submit and call it a day.